I just want to say that we have been making history together, and we're making history because you are the visionary, bold, strong leader that America needed. The American people recognize that. They gave us a mandate, and we're delivering on it. The exciting thing about the big, beautiful bill is America First is no longer just an agenda. It is now the law of the land, my friends.
Yeah, nothing says America first like throwing millions of Republicans off of Medicaid or whatever. The issue, of course, with listening to anything that Mike Johnson has to say is that he doesn't believe any of it. And to a large extent, he doesn't want to have to say most of what he's saying there. You think Mike Johnson got into politics so he can stand there and have to flatter Donald Trump, a guy who he definitely despises and has no respect for? And honestly, I loved watching that because this might be the only thing that I get to have over Mike Johnson right now, but he does have to do whatever Donald Trump says. I don't have to do that, but he does. In any event, all's not, smiles and clapping for the Republicans, because while they got their big, beautiful bill and it is the law of the land, they also understand how wildly unpopular it was before it got passed, and they can see the polling after it, and it's not doing so well, which is why they're trying to rebrand it now, okay? You wouldn't do that if what you'd passed was so awesome, would you? And so as of right now, over 6 in 10 already oppose the big, beautiful bill, and that's of course before most of the aspects of it actually start to hit people. This is before people get thrown off of their Medicaid. Wait until they find out that's why they have no health insurance anymore. Then you're gonna see some really PO'd people. And so as was already referenced earlier on today's show, Republicans going and doing town halls are realizing, oopsie doopsie, this thing is a big old turd because they're facing massive protests and people screaming at them. And that again is only gonna get worse as time goes on. So right now they're trying to change its name. They have GOP strategists that are advising them to call it something else like the Working Family Tax Cuts Act, or even the Trump Working Family Tax Cuts Act, which makes about as much sense as calling it the Toxic Avenger Act or whatever, to see somebody talk about that in the chat. You can say a word, that doesn't mean that's what it's about. And also importantly, nobody thinks of it as that. Again, that's why you're in the difficult position you're in. You could just refer to it. Nobody knows what that is. They know the thing that Donald Trump screamed at us over and over again, which is big, beautiful bill, which notably, and I've always found this to be an issue with the branding of it, doesn't say anything positive about what's in it. It being big, okay, the American people don't care if bills are big, and it being beautiful, what does that even mean? Okay, Obamacare at least has care in it. That's something. Build Back Better implies something positive is being done. Big beautiful bill, that don't mean nothing. And so that's a big issue. The second issue, Yaz, is that Trump doesn't want to rename it. He came up with the first stupid idea and he doesn't listen to people. He still thinks that stupid idea is a good idea. And so it's likely that this stinker is only going to wreak more over time and they're not going to be able to rebrand it. But what do you think?
First of all, I have a lot of thoughts. Why does Trump need that level of flattery all the time? And then when he doesn't get it, he's mad about it. And he tells people that like, I feel like I should get a lot more credit for this thing. He's mad that he's not in line for a Nobel Peace Prize right now, even though according to him and no one else, he has ended 6 or 7 wars, including one big one, but he can't tell you which one is the big one. He also wants a Kennedy Center honor right now for his contribution to the arts, and he has not made any meaningful contributions to the arts. He was a reality TV host. Like, what would his Kennedy Center honor tribute even consist of? Because they usually will perform songs that you've sung in your career, or from movies that you were in. What would Trump's honor tribute even consist of? I don't know. But as far as the rebranding goes, this actually reminds me of something. Here in Texas, we have something called the Texas Railroad Commission here in Texas, and it has nothing to do with railroads, but they will not rename it because people associate it, rightly so, or understandably so, with the railroads. And so they're like, no big deal, just railroads. And trains aren't big here in Texas because we're an oil and gas state. So everybody is driving in cars. We don't have trains. If I want to go to Austin, I have to drive for 3 or 4 hours. I can't just hop a train and get there. And speaking of oil and gas, that is exactly what the Texas Railroad Commission is in charge of. So it is a huge operation here in Texas. It is something that definitely people should be paying attention to, and they should be voting for the people who are running the Railroad Commission, but they don't, because they don't realize how important it is, because they think, just trains. So maybe that is what the people of the big beautiful bills rebrand, that's what they're trying to achieve. And unfortunately, I've seen it work. I know that works, that if you name something one thing, people say, oh, it's that, even though it has nothing to do with that.
Well, we'll see. As of right now, they don't seem to be buying it. And you bring up a good point about the trains. Texas seems like other than maybe California, why is there not high-speed rail? It's literally, you can just have a cross
get me
from
started
Dallas
on trains,
through Austin to
John.
Houston to El Paso. It would be a perfect, you need literally 2 train lines. And you can get around the whole state so much faster. It's madness that they haven't.
It is madness. It is infuriating every time I have to go to either Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, wherever. It is infuriating. And I've lived here for over 20 years now, which is way too long. And since I moved here in the 90s, it was like Y2K when I moved here. They've been saying that there's going to be a train. No trains. There's no trains. And like I could go on for a long time about trains, but I won't, because we have other things to talk about. But
we do.
Yeah.
Why can they just run it on like a combination of coal and fossil gas? Like, I know they don't want it to be a clean train, but
they won't do it.
They won't do
it.